To hear past episodes of the Rap Radar podcast, what they got to do, B-Dot?
You got to sign up for TIDAL at TIDAL.com/on-air.
Yeah, that'll get you a 90-day complimentary membership.
Access to 50 million tracks and 200,000 videos.
TIDAL.com on air.
Yeah, it's the Rap Radar podcast. It's B-Dot.
Elliot Wilson.
And today with a Chi-Town favorite, man. He's got his new project.
Say it right, kid. Say it right.
Saba. Got the new project, man. Care for Me. That's like taking off.
Yo, Pitchfork was right, man. Pitchfork was right, man.
They get it right
Pitchfork,
sometimes.
Saba?
Hey man,
8.7 something?
8.7.
But it feels like a real word of mouth album.
8.7.
It feels like. Is that fair to say?
I mean, I would hope so. You know, I mean, y'all heard it.
Yeah, for me, it's
I'm
a
assuming
project.
somebody had to, tell you about it.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting how the internet is becoming word of mouth.
Right.
You know.
I love it.
right.
Let's talk about this project. Care for Me. Like, how did we get here?
It's been a long journey.
Yeah. It took a while to get here, but we're here now.
Right.
We're here
But you
now.
said from jump that when you
And
put this out, it felt different, right? Like the response, you never got a response like this to any project. you put out.
What I would say is like, I know. Well, what I can tell you is making it even felt different. Making it definitely felt different, but it was like putting it out. No expectation, no nothing, just release it. And I know that I felt like it was, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a masterpiece, carefully crafted and everything like this by me and the producers and everything. But this is the first time where I feel like the public has also responded that way.
With that speed, right? Like, because I mean, even you and Chance talk about the internet a little bit on your song, but like, what's it like to like put out a project now? Even probably there's even more of a presence on social media, even with your last project in this era now, right?
Definitely.
So, what's it like to like put out a project in this climate, and then to see how people kind of gravitate toward that in time?
It's kind of crazy because the internet moves so fast. It moves so fast, so it's like it's intimidating. It's intimidating to drop a single or to drop a song or a video or something, because it's like, if you don't post it at the right time or something like that, like it get overlooked, it get overshadowed. But that's the one good thing about word of mouth. Like it is like that thing where it's like, your people might come back like, no, don't sleep on this. You know what I'm saying? And they keep bringing it back to the timeline or the Instagram or whatever the case. So it's just one of those things where it's like it's definitely, I feel like, risky, but it's like, as an independent artist, it's like you got the internet, like the power of the internet. So it's like it's it's just, and I'm trying to figure them out myself, but it's just like ways to, what I'm saying, like it's science behind all of this shit as far as like what is making people retweet, what's making people like it, what's making people share it, and all of this. So it's like, just trying my best and doing everything in my power to get it heard and raise that platform, because it's like, what I'm saying, we're blessed with at very least having our own platform, what I'm saying, in social media. So it's like, what I'm saying, just trying to kind of
independent artists like yourself.
That's
the ultimate
it's
tool.
a big deal. It's a big deal, and it's like, but to just put out a project in general is already like, it's like a crazy feeling. But to put it out and then have that, what I'm saying, what you put into it be, I guess, somewhat like, giving back to you. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I saw something with project before that. You called it a project because you was like, in this era, everybody doesn't know what to call things. So mixtape is an album, is a project. So looking back on it though, do you feel like in some sense, Care for Me is like a album? Like, is this like your real first album in a sense?
Debut.
Yeah, everything about this one was like an album. Like even listening to it, like I want to do the the vinyls and stuff because it feels like that's what it is. But yeah, it's dope to even listen back to like the Bucket List project. That's the project.
Yeah, Bucket List project, which got a lot of acclaim. That was about 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
but it's dope to even look back at that, because it's like it's still one of those things where it's like that did a lot for me. Like putting
that's
that
like your
out
first
and,
breakthrough.
Yeah. So it's like it's always interesting, because like even before that, when I was doing like mixtapes and stuff, it's just one of those things where every project that you drop in, you want to grow.
Right.
And as long as that's happening, you know what I'm saying, it's like you on that, you on a good path. But it's like, I don't know, like, because I listened to it today on the plane over here. I randomly listened to my first mixtape that I dropped in 2012.
What was that called?
Get comfortable. Yeah. But what's crazy is since that, like, nothing has slowed down. Like, since that, and it's like, it's crazy to even think about, because, like, obviously, like, y'all didn't know me. A lot of people didn't know me, but, like, going from that to Comfort Zone was the second mixtape, and it's like the fan base, like, had to, like, double or triple or some shit.
Right.
And it's still local, but it's like
Chicago.
people are taking you serious, and then to go from that to Bucket List, it's like you go from local to, like, it's like a nationwide tour, and you're able to, like, you have fans all over, and that go from that to now. And I still don't even know, you know, it's still so new with the album being, you know, released. So it's like, it's still, you know, a learning process, and we still figuring out where we kind of are now.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, on a song Friday, you talk about it's hard to love yourself when all these people are complimenting you.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you meant by that.
It's one of those things where it's like people ideas of you are kind of they're tainted. They're not honest opinions. Like, it's like, oh my God, you're you. Oh my God.
I say that to Beat Out all the time.
Liar.
Oh my God.
Me and Beat Out do that every day, actually.
That's funny as hell. That's funny as hell. But it's just like people having these, like, unrealistic, like, views of you. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things that, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people think that you're further than you are. And that creates this kind of conflict with yourself. Like, it's like, because you know you should be, you know what I'm saying? You know you should be
so it's
further.
like perception.
Yeah, it's all perception,
Right.
especially with the internet. You know what I'm saying? Everything is perception. But that's just one of those things where it's like, it creates, you know, sometimes shit just be creating problems where no problems are.
Right.
But that's one of the things that I did feel like, especially working on the album, where it's like, you know, we was doing shows and shit and everything, and people are, oh my God, you know, you're a famous rapper. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to go home to my grandma's house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, chill the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, you know, I don't know. But that's what I really meant by that line specifically, you know?
But even with Care For Me, you said it's like you created this at your lowest point.
Yeah.
Why?
Why was I at my lowest point, or why did I make it?
Well, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I would say, I don't know, I think Care For Me was like the first time where I got to, like how I said, since Get Comfortable, nothing has slowed down. After Bucket List, after my cousin passed, after the tours, after, like, everything, like, it was a really busy year for me last year. And after all of that kind of, like, started dwindling, like, kind of, like, dying down, it was nothing but just time to myself to really reflect on, like, the crazy ass year. Like, it was like 2017 for me was one of those years that had some of the highest highs of my life, but also the absolute lowest lows of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Life, right? Your
Yeah,
grandfather
yeah.
too passed away, right?
Yeah, and
Cousin got murdered and your grandfather passed
yeah,
away.
like a couple weeks apart.
Wow.
And I don't know, sometimes, like, I be forgetting that my granddad passed, like, because I was so caught up in my cousin's passing. Like, and it's crazy. I had seen my granddad on tour, and then it was like, granddad. Let me explain to you. Actually, we got a second?
Please.
Yeah,
we
we got a couple.
podcast, long form, baby.
All right,
Take
fine.
your time
Yeah.
with it.
All right, we on tour. We were leaving Santa Ana, and it was the weirdest hotel that I ever seen. It was.
I'm sure you stayed in your fair share of
it was bad.
tough hotel
This one was
experiences.
bad. This one was bad. This one except, and we was doing great for the rest of the tour. Like, all, you know what I'm saying? We was
Hit a little rough patch.
yeah. But this one was bad. I'm talking about, it's clucks outside. Where are we at right now? Somebody damn near tried to, like, pull up on us. I'm like,
man.
what's going on?
Wow.
And then we finally get into the room. Roaches everywhere.
Wow.
Damn.
So we like, nah, we gotta cancel this. Like, we can't even we can't even take this L. Like, it's just not worth it. Nah.
Hotel tonight at.
Right. So we get our money back. We get on, like, I don't know, hotels.com or something. We looking for another hotel. And it got to a point where it had been so long, we was like, fuck it, let's just drive to the next show. So we start driving towards Phoenix, which is where my granddad lived at the time. And we were, like, we got in super early. We, like, took a nap or some shit. And then we had so much time in the day, we was like, let's go see granddad. Like, it was me and my brother. I'm like, yeah, let's go see my granddad. And like we do the show after that, and like 2 or 3 days later he passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. Like literally the only reason that I was able to see my granddad was because of those roaches. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But spent like a lot of time with him that day.
Yeah. So it was crazy, and like I had a crazy relationship with my granddad because he was the reason that I really got into music. He was in like a funk band. So when we would go to
Did they cut
his...
any records? Can I get my Discogs on? Can we get some copies somewhere? 45s out there?
Maybe.
You know anything about like their...
I could look that up, and if it's around, I could have Roy shoot it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know I've heard it, but I don't know what was released. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But yeah, when he stayed in Chicago, it was like he had this like big ass studio in his basement and everything. So that was my first studio experience. So when I was like, so I was like 8, 9 years old, he had like big ass motifs and like that's the big keyboard and everything. That's what I started making beats on. And he was the one who really like was pushing me, like, read this manual, like learn how to do this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it got me really making the beats and taking it serious. And then it took a weird turn when I got to like college. When I stopped going to college to pursue music,
he stopped talking to you.
He stopped talking to me
Right.
altogether.
Yeah. And your father did music, but for you, he didn't want that, right?
Yeah, right.
Because I guess of disappointment of your father's not maybe getting to levels he thought he should with the music.
Something like that. But I you know, shit like that be internal sometimes. Because even my granddad did the music and probably just didn't get to where he wanted with it. So it was like, once you have that, you know, you're faced with that and you deal with that, you know, you sometimes project. And I feel like that's what it was. So our relationship got real weird after that, where we didn't really talk. So seeing him that time on tour was dope because that was our first time talking in like years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like we got to, you know what I'm saying, like squash everything, you know what I'm saying? And I, you know, it's not like I was holding anything against him or anything, but it was just weird because I didn't really understand, because I'm like, you know, you're the reason that I make the music, you know what I'm saying? So it was weird, but you know, I'm blessed with having that last experience, you know what I'm saying, where you're able, because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, don't get that.
That's true.
Well, I guess juxtaposed with your cousin Walt, so much of the album is about your feelings about it, right? And how, like, from everything, like, why didn't he call me, to what were you piecing together what happened, like, that must be very difficult.
I had, like, that was a crazy last day with my granddad. My last day with Walt was even crazier. You know how, like, they always talk about how, like, before you die, they say your life flashes and shit like that. My last day with Walt, we kicked it at my grandma's crib. And this man, like, we got on Facebook. And, you know, Facebook tells all. Like, everything is on Facebook.
Right.
And we literally, I don't know how we got to talking about this, but we got on Facebook and we just started from the beginning of everything. And we was just like, remember this, remember this. And we just, and we just went through years and years and years of memories on Facebook. And then we got to, like, looking at old YouTube videos, old Twitter videos, old, like, just old
Pivot Gang.
Yeah.
And all that.
And it's fucking wild. Like, again, another beautiful memory that a lot of people aren't blessed to have. But it's like, just looking back on it, it's like, it's fucking crazy. Like, it was like really like we discussed everything that last day that I was with him. And then, like, a day after that, he died.
But when the day after he got killed, I saw that you had tweeted, you said, like, bro, I can't do this shit. Like, did you really want to quit music at that time?
I don't even think that was related to music. You know, that wasn't about, you know.
It wasn't about related to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just, you know, like, it's like losing a vital organ or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, every day of your life here on out is completely different. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't even thinking about music. That was just like, bro, I can't, you know, I can't do this shit. Like,
what made you approach it in music with Prom King, and how difficult was that to make?
Prom King, I knew that, like, I'm like on whatever else that I do. I knew that I wanted like a long ass, like, 10-minute story track.
Great song.
Appreciate it. But honestly, the most difficult thing about Prom King, aside from just the production aspect of it, was really just knowing what stories to tell. Cause I had a bunch of different drafts of Prom King that like the first half will be the same, but towards where the switch happens, different stories. Like I would tell different stories, but I it's hard to take someone's whole life and kind of put it into like 4 sections or so. Mm-hmm. But to have it so that it's such a moving story where it's like you can listen to it and feel like you know the characters. Right, absolutely. So that was what, like, it was one version where I rapped, but I felt like I was talking too much about rapping. Like, cause me and Walt, we rap together. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, but this not, you know what I'm saying? This not really furthering your relationship with Walt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this might be what it was built around, but this not really.
Yeah, you said you tagged with that the whole album of like, to deal more with the emotions than worrying about being super bars on every single thing.
So it was interesting trying to like figure out what stories to tell, but the one that I knew I was gonna tell was the one about prom, because I'm like, that's really how me and Walt got close. My prom date was a fucking blind date that he had set up. Right. And then like after
looking brother, what happened, man? Come on,
man. So that's how that happened. But after that, it was like, yeah, man, you know, we just stayed close. But it's like, okay, you got that. Then I had to tell, like, I was trying to think of like how you would describe Walt. It's like, you know, you tell certain stories to show, you know what I'm saying, like a certain emotion. Like one of the things, if you ask anybody in Chicago about Walt, like it's like this invincible aspect. So I'm like, I have to tell a story, like it's hella stories of him dodging death, or hella stories of him like getting into a jam and like getting out in some like crazy way. But I'm like, what's the story that will, you know, have a listener know that this shit is real? I'm like, that time he called me when they shot up the car and nobody hit him. That's the one. Or him being like, he's a very protective individual, and not just of me, but of like everybody. All his people. All his people. Down. So I'm like, how do I tell that he's protective without just being like, well, it's protect, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like telling the certain stories to show the character rather than to just say the words. And so that's one thing that I think was hard about writing Prom King, just like which stories to use. But it was honestly one of the easier songs to write on the album, because it was like, everything is chronological based. It's like the only thing you got to do is rhyme the words, but it's like you just tell the story how it happened. You know what I'm saying?
I like your relationship. It reminded me while I was listening to that, like how the characters in Atlanta, like Donald Glover and like his cousin, like it's like y'all more so like brothers than cousins.
It's crazy because it's low key hella similar.
Right.
Definitely similar.
Where's Jada at these days?
I'm honestly not too sure, but she's doing good. I do know that.
Oh, okay.
I do know that. You know, Facebook tells all.
That's the prom date on Prom King.
Yeah, shout out to Jada. I seen her. She's at the like they were hella close. Her and Walt was hella close. So you know, that's like that's was extended family. You know, like one of those situations.
And then he got killed over a coat, pretty much. Like how do you make sense of all this?
Loosely, you know, talking about it without talking about it. Just petty shit. You know, but the source of it all being, you know, Pelly's.
Yeah.
Pelly's in Chicago, like niggas still like rob. Niggas still rob for them, and niggas still, you know, do shit
to this day. Wow.
Yeah. But you know, you don't really make sense of it. You just kind of figure it out, you know.
Yeah. Right. And there was another No Name. You were gonna go to him to the No Name show that night, right? And then the next night, you actually did come out and perform. Like, how tough was that for you?
That shit is crazy. Especially because No Name is another person who's like close with Walt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all us, you know what I'm saying? We all rap together, and we all, you know,
Chicago scene.
Yeah, right. So one of the harder things, like I remember being at the fucking scene of where that shit happened.
Wow.
And I had just found out, and No Name called me. So we were supposed to be on our way to the No Name show, and she like, yo, where y'all at? What's good? And I'm like, yeah, we not finna make it. But that's all I said. And then we just, you know, she's like, is everything okay? I'm like, look, we not gonna make it. And then that was that. Like, cause you know, she about to go on, she about to perform. Like, I'm not trying to tell her what the fuck I just found out. You know, that shit is fucking crazy. But yeah, and then the next day, it was, as sad as it was like one of the most beautiful experiences that I think I, you know, was able, like, it's like certain shit in mourning, it helps to see others mourning sometimes.
That strength,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was one of the days where I realized, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm looking at it selfishly, like, you know what I'm saying? I just lost my cousin. And then when I go to the No Name show, I see 1,000 people at this sold out Metro show, all in tears. You know what I'm saying? So you realize how big a loss it was to the community as opposed to just, you know what I'm saying, the family or just, you know what I'm saying, the cousin or the immediate pivot gang or, you know, whatever. But it's crazy. But you know, that energy never goes nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it still feel like how it felt. Yeah.
Were there moments where you said that you were fighting yourself to get out of bed and like feeling depressed and down surrounding that whole situation?
Yeah, I think all of like the depression that I deal with on Care for Me, I feel like while it all isn't directly like because Walt passed, it all, like, I feel like I found out about it all because Walt passed. You know, like, when it took that, and then I realized, like, oh man, all of these other things, you know what I'm saying? But it's just adding on top of the fact that you was already in this point.
Put time to reflect.
Right. So I don't know. It was a crazy time.
Right.
It was a crazy time.
And you said when you started making the record, you, for the first time, you didn't really have a plan of how you were going to approach it, right? In terms of a concept, or I think you said first you really thought it was just going to be some straight hip hop, like with rap features. And
What was crazy is bars. I wanted to do like a fun kind of album, like you know, like some,
I'm the best
put some bangers on it, you know what I'm saying? Throw some features on it and like use that to just catapult, you know what I'm saying? And that, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the plan just, you know what I'm saying? That shit changes, you know? And instead what it became was the most like honest album that I could possibly make. And you know, it just happened. It happened organically. It happened naturally. Like, every single song on there was built from the ground up.
Yeah, you did it all together, right?
With the producers.
Two producers. Only two producers on this project.
Yeah.
And you produced too, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, 3 if you count.
Count yourself. Yeah. But yeah, how did they know that, like, this is the sound that you were trying to capture?
What I would say is, like, it's like I feel like all 3 of us are pretty much equally responsible for why the album sounds the way it sounds. Like, obviously I wrote the music, but it all accompanies, like, you know what I'm saying, like the bigger picture, you know what I'm saying? So how we actually made the music is very similar to how we are right now. Like, Daoud, Day, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got your keyboard set up.
Right.
You got your drum machine or something like that. And I'll have my little, maybe like a drum pad or something. And what we would do is we would all connect our computers to the same speaker system. And we would just build from scratch. Like, nothing, no song title, no song concept or anything. You might play some chords. You might jump in with like the drums, and I might just add to it or something like that. Or I might like play like a skeleton that I like fleshed out, and y'all might just jump in. And within like 5-10 minutes, it's like there's something there. And then I, you know, maybe pace around, get like a song, get like a song going. And that's how like damn near the whole album was built. So a lot of the songs, because they were built from scratch like that, complement each other. Like, it's never like I got emailed this beat and I was like trying to write some idea. Cause you know, then you get sometimes where the beat and the song maybe don't mesh as well as they should. But really with this one, it's like, you know, when you're there from the inception of it, you know what I'm saying? The very beginning of it, it's like you really feel a part of the music. And that's what I feel like sometimes the lyrics just need to complement the music and vice versa. So that's why I think the stories that are being told are so personal. A lot of it's like, it's kind of like happy but sad, or sad but happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're getting multiple emotions musically and lyrically, because it's like, that's just, I feel like, being human. You know what I'm saying? Like, but a lot of the sound of the album had everything to do with the other two producers on the album, Daoud and Dede.
How long does it take, the whole process take for you to create?
I mean, it depends. It's never really like a set time. What I will say is the best songs are all like usually simple. That's all, you know what I'm saying? Like you make the beat in like 10 minutes and we start
the album that, you know what I'm saying? Reminds you of that from this album?
The majority of the songs on the album I think we made pretty quickly. There were songs that like we would do drafts of quickly and then like struggle to finish. Like Life was one that was on the chop block for.
You almost cut Life.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, see what was wrong with Life?
I got angels running away. I got demons hurting me. I know Pac was 25. I know Jesus 33. Come on.
What was wrong with Life was it was just verses. It was just verses and the beat didn't move at first. Cause I that's a track that I did do. I did that at the crib in Chicago because we recorded most of the album in Oakland.
Oh, okay.
So when I went out to Oakland, I had this draft of like dun 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 dun, dun. And in the verse of excuse me.
No, we'll cut it out. Cough button.
Right. Oh, we got the button.
It's all good. All good.
But I let you know Daoud and Dede fuck with it, and they added this second section, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta write a hook. I sat on that for like probably like 2 weeks before I had a hook, and because I didn't have a hook, I was like, oh, maybe it'll just get cut. Because you know we was also working on a deadline and everything, like you know trying to finish it. But when the hook finally came, and what's crazy is the hook that I put on it was the hook that had been in my head since the inception of the record. But I don't know, something about it. I was like, maybe not. And then I was like, fuck it, let me try it. And I was
Mama
like,
mixed the vodka with the Sprite.
Shit. That part was there.
Okay.
That part was there, but it was less hard. It was less hard. It was like a different delivery. It was like that's like it was like I kind of like sung rap it.
Yeah.
And then when they added the 808s and shit, I'm like, no, fuck that. That was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Went and re-recorded like everything on the song, but it's, you know, it's just tight to see how the record, because we did the whole thing in probably like 3 months. Like it was a quick record. Like as opposed to everything that I've done in the past, I've had at least a year worth of time to make the full project. Like this one was like from December to February we made the music, March we mixed, and April we dropped it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a really quick.
And you wouldn't let no one hear it.
Nobody heard that shit. Nobody heard it. Nobody heard it.
Are you always like that with your music? Or you don't share with the Pivot Gang?
Well, what was happening on this one is I was out of town making it. So I was in Oakland, and we would have these like, it was very rare, but once we got like, I didn't want to share it with nobody until I had a playlist was the thing. Like I didn't want to just play one song or two songs or something. Like I wanted like
a sequence.
Right? Yeah, a sequence. Like I know this song goes after this song, and you know, shit like that. So what was crazy is we was playing it for like one of my producers, Daoud. He had like a bunch of like these crazy musicians in Oakland. So we would have them come over and we would play like 6 songs like back to back or something, get their thoughts and shit. Then maybe play like a few more. But it was like
These
it was
like
always
cats?
like
older cats? Or?
No, they
same age.
like,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, they like same age. But it was just crazy. Like, you know, I feel like everybody that was able to hear it knew that it was special, even with how we were treating the music. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever seen that, what is it, the Miles Davis movie where he trying to get his masters back and he holding on.
Don Cheadle.
He holding on to the bitch. That's how that shit felt. Like, it's like when we had, you know what I'm saying, the thumb drive or something like that. Shit was like, you know, my precious.
You hold on to the music, but
right.
you're very open, you know, about your life. Like I was listening to the song Fighter. I'm like, is this based on true stories?
Oh yeah, everything.
Yeah, I got lost. You were fighting some people in that first verse. I got lost, man. Can we break it down?
Are you and Egon cool?
Everything. All right, so E-Guy was my next door neighbor when I was a kid. And you know what's crazy? This dude big as fuck now. Like he's hell no. I wouldn't even want to. I wouldn't even do that to myself. D1 basketball, probably. I mean, not basketball. Football. Yeah, that changed from height to this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's crazy. Like we like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was like my brother when I was growing up, but it wasn't like that for a long time. Like we just used to fight. Just
why?
Fight. I honestly don't know how any of the fights started. Like sometimes like, you know what I'm saying? Like being a kid, sometimes it was just like there's another kid. I'm finna go beat his ass. And I was never like that. I was never like that. Like I was cool. I played video games, maybe played basketball a little bit, but random kids in the neighborhood just would like, try to fight you out of nowhere. So it's like you always kind of had to be ready, but I don't even remember how me and E-Guy got to really fighting, but I just remember it was escalating, and I remember like he wasn't really saying nothing, but his sisters was talking hella shit. Like, you're not gonna do shit to my brother. You're not gonna. I'm like, oh, come. You know what I'm saying? knock the fuck out your brother. And that shit, we was young. We had to be like 8.
Yeah, it's like a Royal Rumble on that record.
Yeah, we had to be like 8. But all of the fights, they were real. But yeah, I haven't fought in a long time.
Is everybody cool now? Like, do you still see and interact with these people?
E-Guy, I mean, Facebook tells all.
You gotta get this man a Facebook deal.
No, it's crazy because I don't even really be on Facebook like that. But it's like Facebook is good for reconnecting with friends in the past and shit like that. But yeah, I keep in touch with with the family and shit. They all doing good. Most of the other kids that I fought in that song, I don't know what happened to them, honestly. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it's kind of crazy, like, to even like think back about like how that song even came about. I was talking to one of my friends in Oakland, and I think she told me she had never been in a fight. And I just thought it was so crazy, like, because it was like, I'm like, damn, you've never been in a fight? Like, no, I never fought anybody. Like, why would I fight? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, nobody wants to fight, but like, nobody tried to just beat your ass for no reason. And then I'm talking about this tour like it's like hella normal. I'm like, yeah, people used to just try to beat my ass. Like, I didn't want to fight anybody, but motherfucker just used to come up and just punch the shit out of me. Like, I'm not gonna let them do it, But it's just so interesting, and the perspective on that. Like, a lot of people, like, I thought that shit was normal. I thought everybody was going through that shit.
But I was watching one of your early interviews, I think, with Sway, because you always talk to Sway a lot.
Shout out to Sway, man.
Shout out to Sway. Like, your childhood wise, growing up in Chicago, like you said, there was a lot of young kids that around your age. I think about 13, 14, you guys would play basketball together, the whole thing. Yeah. And then you saw a shift where, you were blessed to kind of have more of a family structure. Yeah. And they started getting into the gang culture and all that type of stuff. So what was that like for you what was that experience like for you growing up in Chicago? Kind of still being near everything that's going on that's crazy, but not really getting yourself like immersed in it.
It's interesting because it's so glorified, It's so like, I know motherfuckers who couldn't wait to join the gang. Like, that shit sound weird as hell to even say, but like, realistically, I mean, that's what they know, that's what they seen, that's what their brothers did, that's what their uncles did, that's what they people did. So that's what they was on. For me, it was I don't know. I don't really know what did it. I think it was like a culmination of a lot of things that kept me away from it. But even like my relationship with a lot of people changed way before I started rapping. But you know what I'm saying, like when we was kids still, like, and I was just trying to play basketball with motherfuckers, and motherfuckers trying to do like wild shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that, you kind of drift apart from people who not on the same page as you. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of happened, and it happened really young for me and a lot of the kids from the neighborhood that I knew. But it's cool, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, fortunately, is doing relatively well. They still here. And, you know, they supportive.
Right.
You know, that's all you can really ask for, you know what I'm saying? So it seems to be working out and motherfuckers growing up and figuring it out. But it's always interesting. It's always tough because, you know what I'm saying, it's hard not to it's hard not to, you know what I'm saying?
But even when the drill music thing took off, you sort of always keep your musical identity separate. You didn't allow that to be like you're rapping like Chief Keef all of a sudden. Like,
yeah,
you know?
I mean, shout out to Chief Keef. I do believe Chief Keef is one of the most influential rappers of all time.
Yes, sir.
But you know, I know I'm not Chief Keef. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not. That's not my wave. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that shit if I tried, man. Like it's so hard to rap some fake shit to me.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit real for him. So it's different.
That's his honest music.
But for me, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I literally made a song about getting my ass kicked. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Because I listened to the bucket list and it's like you staying true to yourself, but you said you gave the West Side new meaning. So it's like, what was that new meaning? Like, what's it like now? The West Side of Chicago, of course.
The West Side of Chicago is. Let me try to. I don't know if y'all got. I hear it in other places. Like when I go to California, it's like certain neighborhoods will talk down on other neighborhoods and shit. I don't really hear it out here that much, which is surprising because y'all got so many neighborhoods out here. But I don't think I've
Queens.
ever
Queens
heard.
would get fronted on by
It used to be like that.
Brooklyn and Harlem would kind of front on Queens.
All right. So like that. Like motherfuckers from out south, motherfuckers from other part of the
South
city.
side would front on the west side, I guess, right?
Like, why would you ever go to the west side for anything?
Right.
Besides to die. Like you saying like petty shit like that.
South side's Kanye, Common,
Yeah,
all the big
you know,
rappers.
and
Chance.
it's just like one of those things where it's like we just didn't have anybody like talking for the West Side. I mean, we had like, you know, we had Twista, we had Lupe, and we had like a lot of dope artists in between. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as like being at the forefront of music, especially in today, like it had been a minute.
Yeah.
It had
And
been
you
a
want to
minute.
show how big Chicago
So
is.
and it's just one of those things where it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the West Side of Chicago had a lot to do with who I was and why I felt that, you know, the way that I felt about a lot of shit. So it's like I was just trying to, you know, show as much love as possible on that, especially because nobody was really doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's more like a local thing. Like a lot of people out of town don't even know what the difference is, or you know what I'm saying, where that shit is even at. But it's like almost like it was like separate places all together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we from Chicago, but they from that Chicago and we from this Chicago. So it's different. It's different.
Right.
But going back to Fighter, even as the outro you started talking about, because also you was a janitor, but just the paying dues. Like you even slept on the floor in the Port Authority here in New York.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that line out. A lot of people didn't know what I was saying. Port Authority, I slept on the fucking floor at Port Authority. That's
not a clean place, bro.
That shit was terrible. That shit was terrible. Shout out to my girlfriend because she was with me. That shit was wild. So what we did was I was 18 years old. I might have been 19. No, I was 18. And it was damn near when I was turning 19. It was damn near out here for my birthday. But we was out here on like some meetings and shit. We was like really on some like grinding shit. We took some shit called the China Bus.
Oh yeah.
You know about the China Bus?
Know about the China Bus.
$60.
Anywhere you want to go.
Come on. You can't beat that.
Go to the moon on the China Bus.
Wi-Fi in there be that?
Sometimes.
Wasn't no Wi-Fi in this one. And this shit smelled crazy.
Oh, that's the good one.
This shit smelled
sit in the front. Don't
crazy.
sit in the back.
Yeah, we was like in the middle. Okay. But that bathroom, I never smelled piss so strong in my entire life. It wasn't even shit smell. Yeah. Like I'm like, how do y'all piss smell like this? Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all eating?
Welcome to New York.
Right, that shit was crazy. So what was it like? It's a 13-hour ride, so it had to be maybe like 17 hours or something like that. But we made it, and we had a great trip. we had some good meetings. We had, you know what I'm saying. My pops lives out here.
He's from New York, right?
Well, he's from Chicago,
Okay.
but you know he stayed out here. So we was staying with him, and it was an overall just great experience. And then we was ready to go back home because we bought round trip tickets.
Yeah.
And when we got to the fucking place, we waited for like an hour, and then motherfucker just walk in and say, "The bus not coming." The bus not coming. So we like, what the fuck you mean the bus not coming? Like the fuck do you mean? Like it's not like motherfucker didn't walk in and say the bus is delayed. Motherfucker said it's not coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like it's not coming at all. So we bought Greyhound, but they didn't leave until the next day. So we had to sleep.
Break night,
yeah. So we was just at Port Authority. Like that shit was gross, but you know we did what we had to do.
You said your girl wrote with you on that. Like you talk a lot. Another theme in the album a lot is about you exploring your past relationships, and toxic relationships. What is a broken girl?
Good question, Elliot.
You know what a broken girl is, B-Dot.
Yes, I do.
I think everybody's a little bit broken. I will start with that disclaimer. But I think it becomes problematic when it becomes, you know, toxic. Toxic when you projecting that shit on other motherfuckers, when you know, talking down, when you know, it's tough. It's tough. Like relationships in general, like, and I don't be knowing what to say a lot of times, even when I be writing, like, what should I really say? What do I want to, you know, get across? Because it's like, I think people really do look to music and really look to musicians for healing. Yeah. So it's real interesting to me, like certain messages that I try to explore, but Broken Girls, crazy song.
Right.
Track 2 though. Why do you think it ended up going there with 2.
It? Honestly, the sequencing on the album is kind of crazy. Like, you know, no skids, no intro, really, just like getting right to it. But honestly, I put it number 2. Like, it felt so. I feel like honestly, usually people put the single number 2. Where do you put an album with no single? You know what I'm saying? Where do you put as number 2 on an album with no singles? But it felt like some of the themes that I approached and that I talked about on Busy were revisited more in depth on Broken Girls. So that's why I wanted to keep them close together. I didn't want to drift too far in the album before, especially because the thing like Broken Girls dealing so much with relationships and toxic shit and just, you know, people in general. You know, it's like it's such a heavy theme. I feel like after, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to put it down here when I'm talking about Walt and all of this shit where it can get lost in it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to introduce it early on where it can kind of sit on its own part of the album. And then it really, I don't know. That song for me, it helped make me feel a lot better about
the Broken Girl song.
Yeah.
Can I introduce you to my friend Wale? Because I think you guys would make a great collaboration together.
I mean, you know,
talking about broken girls, relationships. Even on the Busy Sirens, you talk about like how you haven't let anyone in new since 2012. Were you just like being cut off from people, or
just I don't know. I feel like 2012 is when I like started like dropping music really, and it just became hard to know what's genuine and what's not genuine. I try to be I do consider myself a good judge of character, but just all that friendship shit and all of the new shit, like I haven't been very good at it.
Where are your rapper friends?
Yeah,
Pivot Gang, Elliot.
Yeah, good question. Where are my rapper friends? I don't really know. I don't really know.
Even Chance, there's not like, you know, you're cool with Chance now, like you said, but that came through music itself. But like, I just think that's what's interesting about you. Like when you hear you speak about that you really consider yourself rap, hip hop to the core as an artist, but you don't seem like you're part of a community in any kind of sense of like that rapper camaraderie, like so and so, and I'm the feature on this one. And
no, I have that. I do have that, but I think it's different. It's different because it's like it seems more like I have like the people that I'm really working with. It's like all family.
Yeah.
Like especially like Pivot Gang, like Walt, my cousin, Joe, my brother. Like it's all family in Pivot Gang. But then even outside of that, like No Name. Like I've been working with No Name since I was 16 years old. So it's like it's different.
Scene.
Yeah.
Open mics, you guys were all from the same community.
It's
right?
different than, you know, just the feature. You know what I'm saying? Like it's motherfucker grew together. You know what I'm saying? And really, you know.
So you actually have real rapper friends.
Yeah. Right.
But do you also have like, I guess, a chip on your shoulder from getting past on those open mics? Or getting skipped?
Nah, that shit is.
Oh, okay.
That shit natural. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, you know what I'm saying? That's a part of it. I'd be trying not to take shit personal either, because it's the same as you drop a mixtape and people don't listen to it, and then they listen to the next mixtape. Like it's like that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that they did. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I know a lot of motherfuckers who will hold that as a girl. Like, no, I remember you weren't rocking with me on the first. And it's like, duh, nigga, we don't know you. Why would we listen to this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's never worth taking shit personal. And it's, you know, that's even down to relationships with people and shit. It's a moving thing and something that I'm learning a lot, but it's never worth taking shit personal. You know, taking shit too serious, taking shit to heart. You know,
right. Even when you were sitting in New York, you obviously were taking meetings, you know, trying to get your music out to as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously you're independent, you're not signed to a label. But, you know, you talk about like how sometimes, there's a line you say, sometimes I think about the pressures of the label and what it takes to get paid for. Like, what pressures do you think exist within that ecosystem?
It's a lot. I think they have a lot of the same pressures that artists have. Like, you know, as far as like just the success rate that people are expecting. Like, if you come out as a dope artist, that's not enough no more. Motherfucker gotta be dope forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker gotta make money forever. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker gotta, it's a lot that you have to do and be able to supply, and it's not just like you're doing it for yourself. You got a team, you got a family, you got other people, and all of these people are expecting a piece. And it's like, I feel like the, you know, label, I don't know, honestly, on Gray, I was trying to kind of be devil's,
about Gray.
I kind of wanted to be like devil's advocate. Like, I'm not really trying to give too much of an opinion on any of it, but more so just talk about it. So, you know, the first verse I'm talking about the artist, and the second verse I'm talking about the labels. But one thing that is true throughout, like, so I have friends that are signed, I have friends that aren't signed. All my friends that aren't signed want to be signed. All my friends that are signed want to be independent. So that's what when I say Sitter want to be Walker, Walker want to be driving.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. But it's like, I'm trying to talk about it without
shame on you, record label.
Yeah. Right. Like, it's, you know, it's all love, and it's really just, you know, motherfucker just trying to make the right decision. I think it's only bad when people get caught in like a system that's not for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you able to get your deal that's like perfect for you, it's like all the power to you, and that shit is beautiful. But it's like, you know, it's just so many times where it's like you hear about it, but it's also like, it's also on the artist. Like, why? How did you get yourself in this position? Like, what are you signing, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's, you know, a lot of people are pointing fingers.
And then with someone like Chance, is always the fight over, like, let's say you get a big sponsor to back you up. What is independence anymore? If you get backing, does that make you any less independent because you don't go to a record label? Like,
what I'll say about the Chance thing, because I know a lot of people. What's crazy is it was surprising to me when the last Chance shit came out, and motherfuckers like, he's not really independent. If you was in Chicago in 2000, like before acid rap, even like 2011, 2012, this nigga damn near went hand to hand. Every single person that was between the ages of like 14 and like 24, like, and hand delivered a mixtape to, like, this nigga gave everybody his CD. And I don't think people realize how independent You know what I'm saying?
Chancellor was.
Yeah. Right. Like to see that, and then to see how the city like really embraced him, and then like how quick he's been able to grow. Like it's like really crazy. But I never, you know what I'm saying? Like even to like, do you realize that to even get backed by Apple or anybody really
to cut a big check like that
as an independent artist, you gotta be an independent, like, you know what I'm saying? Like as an independent art, like, yeah, like that shit is a part of it. Like,
and
that
why
don't
would
take
you
away.
not want to build something to be rewarded independent wise, right? You want to build
like,
it
no, if he was really independent, he would be broke. Like, what the fuck? Like, what type of sense? That don't make sense. That don't make sense.
Talk about like how you guys didn't really know each other, like you didn't grow up together or anything, but then like, you know, connected on acid rap, and then he gave you a big look with the Angel song. Like, how did that come together that he gave you that such a good big look with that? Did that surprise you? Like,
it didn't surprise me that much because I knew like we fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? So it was I don't know, it was natural, it was organic. But I know that he was bumping like Comfort Zone heavy, and which was that was the mixtape before Bucket List.
Yeah.
So he's bumping that heavy, and when he had hit me up, it was like yo, what you want? Slide to the studio. I'm working on some shit that like I could use you on, and it was like I was hearing how he was like flowing on the beat, and I was like, hey, and it was just tight because it was like some of like the cadences were like nods to some of my shit, and it was dope that he had me still be a part of it. Like,
so you can tell you haven't listened to your stuff too, or just you respecting each other's pockets and how you approach things. Yeah.
Right, and it was just dope that like it's like, you know what I'm saying, like I don't know, just like when you inspired by somebody. And you able to then say, hey, do this with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you that platform.
Yeah. Like,
because you did Colbert and stuff like that. I think you said something funny too. You were saying like he gave you good advice that, you know, when you do the TV tapings, it's like usually an older white demographic there. You can't play to them. You have to play to the cameras because we're all at home watching.
Yeah.
So you got to turn up.
Right. Yeah, that shit
even if they're
crazy.
staring at you like this, you got to turn up.
That shit was crazy. But Colbert was lit. They was in there with us.
We touched on the song Gray earlier, but like I thought about one line that stood out to me. It's that I know like you're here for the long haul. You know, you're playing for keeps, and you said that nobody want to be great, everybody want to be seen.
Woo.
That was a hard one. Like, what steps are you doing to ensure your greatness?
I feel like the answer to this question is hard, but I don't really feel like it should be. I'm trying to think of why I think this. Nobody want to be. I feel like it's damn near obvious, you know. Like, just look at what's going on in social media. Like, everything is like, because we can now see like the currency. You know what I'm saying? The virtual current. Like, this is worth this many retweets. This is worth this. You know what I'm saying? It's like the visual. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm guilty of it too. So it's like hard for me to judge somebody doing that shit. But it's like, I don't know, it's just been so long since I feel like somebody new came out that was like undeniable. Or even like, because a lot of times you don't come out new and undeniable. Sometimes you come out new and I hear it, but you got to work on it.
Yeah, work on it.
Yeah, artist development and shit like that.
But it's not fully developed.
Yeah. And that's absolutely fine. But it's like, the fact that I feel like we're in a point now where people don't want to get better. People don't want to be great. Like, people only want
the instant gratification.
Clout.
I guess.
Clout
chasing.
Yeah.
But that's dope. But are you a competitive kind of artist?
I was, and honestly, somewhere along the lines, I stopped giving a fuck.
For what, like outside validation kind of thing?
Yeah. I stopped giving a fuck. And I don't know, it's like, it's so many resources, there's so much to go around. It's like, why am I even trying to compete with, especially because like, I don't feel like anybody's doing what I'm doing. So it's like, it's hard to even like really feel like I should be competing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop is a very competitive, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's so like, hip hop, talk about a false sense of competition, talk about toxic masculinity and all of this shit. Like, but it's just a crazy, it's a crazy sport.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. I'm happy, and I don't really feel like it makes a difference whether or not somebody 16 is, harder than mine. Like, I'm gonna come with it.
Mm-hmm.
But do your thing. I'm not worried about it. Make your album, do your thing. And you do that over there, and I'll do this over here.
But you take the writing craft seriously. I think that's just somewhere you saying like you have a poetry background. I think from that is still with you not to kind of. We had a Steve Stout here with some about, and sometimes MCs take lines off. I feel like your approach is you don't take no lines off. Like you don't put a throwaway line in there. Like you really try to nail it and go through a verse and make sure you're not wasting a single bar on it.
That's I mean, everybody does that. Everybody does it to an extent. I think the extent is what makes the difference. Like, like when writing, it's like, if some shit be filler, some shit just be there to be there. And sometimes it's tight. Sometimes them be people's favorite lines. So it's really hard to even know what to say. Because that's really what our job is to, like give people what to say.
Right.
But no, it's hella interesting to me. But that is where I learned that shit. Like poems, like, and I guess I technically come from a poetry background, but it's not like I was writing poems. Like I was rapping.
Yeah.
But it's hella interesting to me. Like looking at if you dissect a poem, a good one, it's like just all bars. It's all bars, and if you lacking on one, it takes away the effectiveness of the whole piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I started trying my best to apply that to rap. The difference is the timing on rap. Sometimes you only have half a bar to squeeze in a rhyme scheme. So you might have to just squeeze in some shit, and you got to try your best to make it make sense. And shit. So it's like, I understand why people do the shit, but it's like, it's dope when you could tell that a motherfucker is really like coming with it as opposed to just like saying some shit to say some shit.
And where do you get the inspiration with flows? Like you try so many different cadences and flows. Like
flows, we could talk about that shit forever. I don't know. That's really how I hear like raps. I don't give a fuck about who's the most lyrical rapper of all time if you're doing basic flow. Like, if you're doing basic shit, I don't care what you're saying because it's hard to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Especially now, like, cadences are so important because they're, like, the driving force of, like, you what's the point of having a dope beat if you're not, like, matching it? You know what I'm saying? So what got me into music in general, aside from my family, like, was Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, he was saying.
Busy Bone.
Busy Bone, Crazy Bone, really all of them.
Right.
Can you still do the Busy Bone verse? Sway in the morning.
Yeah. That's probably not going nowhere. But yeah, how they would ride beats was so interesting because they was doing shit that nobody else was doing.
Yep.
Nobody else was doing that shit, and some of the cadences are coming back now, and it's kind of cool. Cause motherfuckers don't even know that they was doing that shit already.
Right.
Like this shit not new. Motherfucker been doing that. The triplets and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker did that shit 20 years ago. But it's cool to me how they always seem to find pockets where they put their rhymes. Like it's not even just them rapping fast, but the pockets are like where they put the rhyme is always crazy. And it's always, you know what I'm saying, different, verse to verse. So it's like when I hear beat sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I won't necessarily think of like lyrics. I'll think of the pattern.
Right.
The pattern. So I always think in the pattern. And that's also maybe like the bit of producer in me trying to come out, where it's like you gotta use your voice as an instrument, and like rhythmically a lot of shit in hip hop has already been done. There's not too many flows that just like haven't been done at all.
Right.
So it's like you gotta like think of ways to manipulate your voice, ways to dub it differently, like ways to just do shit differently that makes sense and that's original. Like, cause I don't want to make it sound like the only point of doing it is to be different.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than somebody doing some different shit just to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that shit is so annoying. Like, it's like, yeah, nobody did that shit before, but that shit is also terrible. Like, get the fuck out of my face.
That's a
like,
fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Opening,
maybe you should go do something someone has done. Like,
right.
But just being true to yourself, I feel like is what's most important. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that I used to only listen to Bone, like exclusively listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony. So it's like a lot of times, like, it's crazy. Like, I'll do some shit as a nod to like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Favorite Bone Thugs records?
Bro, my favorite album probably is the East 1999 Eternal.
Classic.
But I mean, I had them all.
But you bigged up everyone from Spice One to Big L to everybody, right? Like, I feel like that's like you're sort of a student of the game.
You knew, you know me. Oh,
but I think that's the versatility that comes across in the music. Like, I think there's times where it's like you could sound like another guy on your record, but it's still you. Like, you come with so many different ways of approaching.
And I think, I don't know, that's just, for me, I know sometimes like listening to an artist album, like sometimes it's,
get a little bored.
Good songs can be boring. Mm-hmm. Good songs can absolutely be boring on a like in line with like the rest of the album. Like, you know, albums obviously were much longer. But even aside from an album just being long, it's like, you know, it gets repetitive. Not the beats can sound completely different, the hooks can be different, but just even hearing your same voice on every song, like, it's like that shit can
I always say some guys need rap partners. They would be better in the older era where they had to have a partner.
Right.
You hear them not rap every single verse. And one verse from them, one verse from the other person. You would enjoy it more.
Keeps it interesting.
Yeah. So sometimes I do experiment. I'm not sure how often I experiment for that purpose. Sometimes it's just me trying to match the beat.
It's all with the beat.
Because, you know, sometimes, I don't know, I realize that I do be sounding like completely different niggas on the same song sometimes. And that's the thing that, like, it's like, even listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony, it was like, sometimes, like, it's a group of them, so it's confusing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the same
crazy?
Person will sound like a different person before another person come in. And I don't know, it's just like, it's playful, but it keeps it, like, it keeps the energy strong. It keeps you, like, it keeps it from being so predictable, which is also why I love Young Thug so much.
Yeah.
Young Thug is amazing because it's like, it's so like unpredictable what's gonna happen next. You know what I'm saying?
Where he's going.
Right.
What's gonna happen next with you? Are we going to the South, man? You got that $1 million?
Moving down south? Down south? Smile?
Hey, you know, God willing, we'll, you know, stay tuned.
But you moved out the grandparents' cribs and
I moved out. I got an apartment with my girl in Chicago.
Okay.
And things are good.
Does she give you hell for those records like, you know, Prom King or like the early records at the top of the album?
No.
Okay.
She, you know, if anything, you know, it's a good thing. You know, you being honest. You being honest, I feel like we got the type of relationship where we talked about all of this shit prior to it going to wax. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool. You know, if you can't be honest, you know, well, who can you be honest
right.
with? You know, I live with you.
The final statement of the album, you say there's heaven all around me. Like, what exactly do you mean, and why do you think that was the final kind of statement to make on the album?
What I literally meant is listening to it after Prom King, the perspective of the song is like it's like posthumous. It's like after someone has passed already. So I'm describing the scene kinda, and I'm rapping as the spirit or ghost or whatever, you know, whatever you want to call it. And I meant it pretty literal when I was saying there's heaven all around me. But also I talked about that a little bit because Prom King was originally supposed to end the album, but I listened to it with that as the last song, and it was the most depressing thing. Right? It was bad. It was bad. So I didn't want to leave that as the last, you know, with the last taste in your mouth being like that. So Heaven All Around Me, which is a song we had actually started before we even started Prom King. But I felt like it did a good job in still being like, I think Prom King is a very it's a sad song, but you know the story keeps you so interested in it.
Yeah.
Heaven
It's
All
moving
Around
so fast.
Me.
And,
Heaven All Around Me is also sad, but there's like this element of like beauty in you know, in the death even that I feel like is necessary for something to feel complete. Cause that was the one thing, like listening to Prom King is the last song, it felt so sudden. Like it was like everything was like happening and then it's like, it's just over now.
Right.
Kinda.
But what's crazy is that's really how it felt for, you know what I'm saying, everybody around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we was moving quick and then it's just like, oh, he's no longer around. Like he just was killed and it's like almost like what? You know, you don't know what to put next.
Right.
So I didn't want to put another record next. So Heaven All Around Me, I feel like it does the job because it's like almost like as if I'm rapping as, you know, him after he passed on. And what's crazy is I didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah.
But I listened back to it and was like, damn, this is damn near me describing the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like what the experience felt like. But yeah, it really was just like, I wanted to sprinkle a glimpse of hope at the end. Like I didn't want it to end like with that and then it's just over. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to depress people any more than people already are depressed. But I do want people to, you know, to tell the story and, you know, a lot of people relate to it in whatever ways, you know, connect with them. But I think it's important to give that glimpse of
hope and optimism.
The hope, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Really,
you just came off a good tour, right? Successful tour. Like, what was that like doing some of these new songs, these super emotional songs to the audience and adding it on the set list? What was that?
It was crazy. I will say that I never performed Prom King.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on stage for 8 minutes doing one song. And also, I don't think I just don't want to do that song right now. You know, maybe I will eventually, but no, not now.
How many new songs did you add to the set list?
We pretty much did every other song on the album.
Okay.
We didn't do Prom King and we didn't do Heaven All Around Me.
Yeah.
But everything else we did. And it was dope, honestly. Like it was definitely the best show that we, you know, to date, like the best set that I could say I came up with, like, and every night. Cause it's like, it's interesting performing like these songs that are kind of down in energy at a concert.
Yeah.
Cause like you listening to it and it's more reflective than like turn up, which is what you want at a concert. But it's like the songs that go hard, they go hard for. So we you know, we made the set in a way that kind of crescendos. Like we started off with all like the low energy songs, but it's like each song has more energy than the last one. So the first song we do is Busy. So we come out, it's like, it's not like it's more like a cell phone lit camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
But then right after that, we go into Sirens, and it's like that's where the energy kind of started picking up. And then we went into Broken Girls after that, where it's still like that energy. But it's just crazy to like do the songs live. Especially we went on tour 6 days after the album came out.
Right?
So it was
time.
yeah. So it was kind of crazy. Like motherfuckers still learning the words.
I was gonna say.
So you was able to see the first half of the tour, even though the shows were still like the East Coast, like a lot of the East Coast shows even sold out. But it's like by the time we got to the West Coast, the album had been out for a month. So you see the difference in energy.
The audience knows.
So what we would do is we crescendo it, you know, we still, you know, because it's an emotional set. So we tease shit, we might cut a track or something, and then we drop some bucket list. Like once it got like to a part where it was like kind of lit and the energy was like back, like Smile. We would do Smile, and then after Smile, like We Feel Good.
Yeah.
Drop some bucket list, and
a
lot of the and a lot of the bucket list shit is more upbeat, like happy shit. And then it was just dope because it was like, you know, like we as artists, like we were really able to control not just the crowd, but the crowd's emotions. Like motherfuckers in the crowd crying, motherfuckers singing every word every single night, except one night. It was a month and a half tour. We got an encore every night, and it was fucking crazy. And we would end with Life, and it's like, cause that's like the heaviest, the heaviest shit. So by Life, everybody, like even like the shy kids in the back and shit, everybody is bouncing, everybody yelling shit, and it's just cool. But it's like that's one thing that I really pride myself on as a performer, like not just coming out and like making it the most turn show ever, but having people be comfortable enough. Because you know, a lot of I'm an introvert myself, so it's like I understand a lot of introverts might go to shows and not want to put their hands up or not want to sing along. Yeah. And that's one thing, like a lot of rap shows I think don't really take into account. Like every song is not
my hand's not up in the air for every song.
Yeah.
I don't think you know.
Right. So this was cool because it was like it was just enough to where like you leave with people wanting more, and then they get to get a little bit more, and it's like, you know, you get the best of both worlds. I feel like, really. You
said one city was fronting. What city was that, man? They
we
can't listen to this podcast.
We don't got to talk about it. But
You got to go back.
It was dope. It really wasn't even their fault. It wasn't their fault. What happened was we forgot to tell the people who play that, like who in charge of the sound, we didn't tell them that we do an encore. So what happened was the second we finished the last song, they started playing the house music. Like, so it was like, all right, everybody get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So it's already like, you know what I'm saying? So where this is the time now where it would be like that awkward moment where motherfuckers like, is he actually done? Like, Saba, you know what I'm saying? And then it kind of like slowly starts to chant. The music was already on, so motherfuckers is out the door. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was more of a miscommunication with that city.
What was the best one? Let's end on a positive note.
The best one, honestly, and this is not even me gassing. Every single night, was like
talk that shit.
It's crazy. Every single night was crazy. But even shows that you wouldn't expect to, like we played Nebraska, we played Utah, we played Kansas, like even shows that you wouldn't expect to be like crazy, like were still good shows. Like obviously like LA, New York, you know, they went wild. You know, the shows that sell out like are like kind of crazy. Especially the New York show. The last time we played New York, we did maybe like a 300 cap room. And this time we did 700, and you know what I'm saying, like, and it sold out, and it's like, and I don't know, it's just like really like, it's like a blessing, but it's like it's fucking crazy, like to really just see, like when you can physically see the shit growing, it's like it just feels great, and you know you see the people that was at the last show here, plus they all got their +1 this time, you know what I'm saying, and then but it was a lot of dope cities, man, like. The East Coast, like Boston showed a lot of love. Philly showed love. Like the whole East Coast showed love, and the whole West Coast showed. Texas, Dallas sold out. Like a lot of shows sold out on this one too, and it was really cool to, you know, to have that experience. Like, and honestly, I think if we were still on tour right now, like we probably could
go back out, man.
We could probably play some more cities.
I gotta hear Symmetry and the Billy Williams
story. Yeah,
those are my favorites off the bucket list project.
Nice.
Has your bucket list changed before we get out of here?
Has my bucket list changed? I stopped even keeping track of a bucket list. Like so much shit that I feel like I never would have thought about doing has happened and been dope as fuck. And it's like I you know, I can list my dreams and my aspirations and shit, but it's like a lot of the shit is just a part of the journey. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know. But yeah, it absolutely has changed. But what's changed about it, I don't know that I can tell you the specifics because I don't know them off the top of my head, you know?
Right.
Well, thank you for sharing the journey with us.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
you
man.
all, man.
Saba, man. Make
Saba.
sure you get that care for me if you haven't already.
Right.
For real. One of the best of 2018.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Rap Radar Podcast.
We out of here.